Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I hope you're all doing well and welcome back to my October plan with me. I want to keep this intro short because I do a whole voiceover in the actual planning part of this video, so I want to keep it very short, but I do have a cold, so bear with me when I do the voiceover and just with the intro and the outro as well, because I sound a little bit bunged up and that is why. But we are planning for October in my bullet journal, which covers everything from cover page, monthly calendars, brain dump page, reading spreads. They are back. So without further ado, I really hope you guys enjoy this video and let's get into it. So the colour palette I'm going to be using for the October spreads is going to be this kind of light brown, pale orangey colour, which I think is actually really nice. If I swatch it, it's Tombow 912. I'm also going to highlight that along with Tombow 990, which is a very pale kind of beige colour. And then if I feel so inclined, I will use Tombow 192, which is a very nice kind of like musty green colour. And I think these three colours together work very, very well. Bear with me with the setup. Once again, I'm trialling something different to last month's plan with me. Different location, different filming setup, so bear with me. But once again, I have planned out all of my spreads and we're going for the traditional classic bats, cats, pumpkins, spiders, cobwebs for October, because I think out of all of the years that I've been bullet journaling, I don't think I've done this sort of cliche, classic, traditional Halloween sort of vibe for October. So without further ado, let's just hop straight into it. So we're starting out with my cover page. It's a page I never miss in any of my monthly spreads just because I like the classic divide between the previous month and the month that's about to begin. Bear with me on this voiceover because I do have a little bit of a cold. But this month I decided to do, like I said, a classic kind of Halloween spread, but the main inspiration on kind of why I did what I did was that I went on Pinterest and I just typed in cats in pumpkins because I thought that'd be a really cute spread, and although it's not like the main theme, I do really like the accents of lots of different cats in pumpkins across the rest of the spreads that are yet to come. You know what, I am so excited for October. Usually October isn't my month. I don't love October. I'm not a massive fan of Halloween. I'm just not my vibe. I'm a once summer is over, give me Christmas sort of person. But doing this spread and kind of doing the traditional Halloween accents like the bats and the cobwebs and the pumpkins and the spiders, I am not excited for Halloween, but I'm excited for October to start because I cannot wait to use these spreads in my bullet journal. I wasn't massively keen on how this spread slash page was coming together at the beginning, but I think overall I am happy with the theme because it's just the classic Halloween theme and it's something that I've never really done before and I am vibing with it. I don't know how people do voiceovers for Plan With Me's because I have nothing to say and we're still on the cover page. Sorry if you can see my head in a shot. I'm obviously trying to figure out exactly the best way to set up these sorts of videos because at the minute, having refound my vibe and my enjoyment with bullet journaling back in August after having like a major life kind of slump and rut in life, I couldn't really figure out what my purpose was over the summer. I felt ill quite a couple of times and I just kind of lost passion with my bullet journal. August I decided to restart and I have really rediscovered my passion for it, and I'm a creature of habit, and therefore as soon as I realized that those August spreads were working for me, I stuck with them in September and I've stuck with the same layout again in October, as you'll see in the upcoming spreads. But basically I have a cover page, I have a brain dump page, a mini monthly calendar, a habit tracker and a goals page, and then I have a secret surprise at the end which I think you guys will enjoy. But moving on swiftly to the brain dump page I just spoke about, the last couple of months I was actually titling it brain dump, but you know what, I really couldn't be bothered to write out all those letters, so I just put note at the top of the page, because at the end of the day it is just a place for me to note down anything that I kind of want to keep track of, whether that is order numbers or contact numbers from telephone conversations that I've had, contact names, etc., or just like tasks that I need to do across the month that don't fit into a weekly page, so I can refer back to it when I'm creating those weekly spreads and add tasks into those instead, so I kind of migrate them across. So it's just kind of a page for anything and everything. And I decided to, instead of having a cat in a pumpkin, I decided to do a cat carrying a pumpkin. I'm not the best drawer. Sometimes the eyes of the cats aren't turning out as well as kind of I hoped and what I saw as inspiration on Pinterest, but you know, at the end of the day they're cute in my personal opinion, and I think him carrying a pumpkin is just precious, so I'm glad I did it. I always find if you think your kind of spread isn't coming together as you hope, outlining it and putting it in a box always does help. And I'm just colouring it in now in the colours that I chose at the beginning, the orange, the beige and the green. I actually didn't think I'd be using the green as much as I did, but I actually think the three colours complement each other very well, and therefore I incorporated all of them into the spread, I think, in their own light, and I'm really happy with how overall the colour scheme came out in the end when I was a bit iffy about it at the beginning. I do actually like the mix of filling in pumpkins and then just outlining them in the colour. It gives, I don't know, some contrast, which I thoroughly enjoy. I feel like I'm talking absolute dog shit. So if you're enjoying this voiceover, I really appreciate you letting me know, because if you guys don't enjoy voiceovers and you just want the music, I can do that in the next Plan With Me video. But we're going on to filling out and sorting out my monthly calendar. I used to be a bullet journaler who needed to have a double page spread for their calendars, and then I realised I never really referred back to them, and wasting a double page spread on a calendar that I never really referred back to was kind of like a little bit of a waste of space. So I decided to start doing smaller ones, and these ones have really worked out for me, because all I do is write key dates in this calendar, and other than that, any events that are happening week to week happen in my weekly spreads. Now that I actually pre-prepare all my weekly spreads before like the month starts, it gives me just time to actually write the events down on the actual days rather than utilizing the calendar, if that makes sense. I just jumped ahead a bit because who really needs to see me color in more bats and more pumpkins, because it's the same thing over and over again. And if you couldn't tell, I'm running out of things today, which is kind of rare for me because usually I'm a massive talker. But now we're on to my favourite spread of the month and of every month. No matter how I lay it out, no matter what the theme is, my habit tracker page is always my favourite page. I absolutely love tracking habits. I know there's kind of like some controversy, wow, I can't talk today, over actually keeping track of habits, but for me they work really well, not in terms of like trying to create new habits, but in terms of just tracking the habits that I already have. I like reflecting back at the end of the month and seeing how many times I worked out, even though I know working out for me is no longer a habit I need to create, because I love working out. I love what it does for my mental health. I love just moving my body every single day where possible. So although it's not a habit I need to create anymore, I like still tracking it, because I like to see on which days I worked out and what format of workout I did, and therefore the habit tracker comes in really useful. I did a lot of habits this month because in September I realised I wanted to track more than I was, and that's just because I wanted to switch things up. And I haven't actually recorded which habits I want to sort out and keep track of this month, because that is going to be happening in my October reset video, which will be hopefully coming at the end of this week if I can kick my ass into gear and film the remainder of the video. I filmed some of it, I haven't filmed the rest of it, so bear with me on that. I'm still trying to like rejuggle how many days I want to upload and all that sort of stuff when it comes to YouTube. But if you can actually tell, I always plan out all my spreads in pencil. I do that because sometimes you make some errors, and I made an error on this habit tracker, and luckily I noticed before any pen hit the paper, and I actually didn't give myself enough room for the title of the habit as well as the Monday to Sunday kind of title bit as part of the mini calendar as well. I managed to realise that before pen hit the paper, and I adjusted, which is why the pencil lines don't match up to the actual boxes that I did create. And something that I haven't done in ages, which I thought I would incorporate in October, because a lot of stuff is happening in my life right now, and I just want to have this bullet journal as something to look back on in terms of like where my life was at when I was moving out and transitioning into this whole new kind of chapter of my life. So I thought I'd do a mood tracker. This is a very simple mood tracker. I have just written down on the left hand side: best day ever, happy, productive, could be better, sad, emotional, stressed, and cancel today, as different moods that I can track across the month. And I can track more than one mood a day. If my mood was productive but I also thought I was really stressed, then I can still tick both of them. I just want to see day to day kind of how my mood shifts and changes throughout the month. And also it's quite useful to have it align with my habits, because if I didn't work out that day and I felt a bit sad, maybe that's a correlation that I could try and fix for future. So on my sad days, maybe working out and moving my body is better rather than just moping around, sort of thing, if that makes sense. And here we are drawing more bats and more spiders and more cats in pumpkins. And not gonna lie, the cat in pumpkin on this page is my favourite cat in pumpkin I did across all the spreads, just because it's turned out really cute. I think I had a little bit of practice in the other couple of spreads, and this one just felt really, really cute, and I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. The one downside to having a habit tracker with individual calendars is the amount of time it takes to do each individual date. So I just skipped over that part so you didn't have to live it with me and actually get hand cramp and get really bored of writing out all the mini calendars. But I did do it, and I'll show you in the flip through at the end. But we're now on to my October goals. This is a really simple, really plain page because I haven't written in my goals yet, because that is something that I address with you guys in my monthly reset videos, which, like I said previously, will be coming out hopefully as the next video, maybe Sunday, maybe next Tuesday. I haven't really figured that part out yet. And I decided to decorate this page with lots of little pumpkins and a little cat in pumpkin, because that is the theme after all. And I decided to do lots of variations of pumpkin. Of course, all pumpkins are perfect no matter shape or size, and I really like how this just borders the bottom of the page. Very, very happy with how this comes out. And I use lots of different colours to decorate pumpkins, and it reminds me of like going to like Home Bargains or Next or TK Maxx and seeing all like the ceramic pumpkins that you can get, and they're always in the orange and like the cream, the dark browns, maybe green. I don't know, maybe I'm starting a new trend here with green pumpkins, but I don't think I am. Maybe they're the unripe pumpkins of the season, but unripe pumpkins should still deserve the same amount of love as ripe pumpkins. So I just did some colouring in of the pumpkins, mixing up whether I filled them in and whether I kind of just gave them an outline. Wow, words today, Rachel. I think I've spoken too much. Voiceovers are hard. Like, praise anyone who does voiceovers for like most of their videos. I do voiceovers for a little bit of my videos, but never like this amount of talking in kind of one stint. And now we're on to the special page that I kind of mentioned to you guys at the beginning, and that is I'm doing a reading page. Like, what? Who is this person? I know I haven't done a reading spread at all in any of my bullet journals, like spreads so far this year, because I did have a reading journal, what I wanted to keep separate at the beginning of the year, and then I fell off my reading game and I haven't touched that reading journal. And I have realised, because I don't read as much anymore, I can still incorporate reading into my normal bullet journal. So that's what I'm trying to reincorporate by doing this spread. I've just done a really simple tracker. I used to do like a whole kind of bar graph in pages I read per day, but that's just not who I am at this current state of my life. I can't keep on top of how many pages I've read, because I just pick up a book here and there, and if I read 20 pages a day, that's great for me at the minute. So I've just done like another mini calendar, and I'll just tick on the days that I've read. Maybe I'll write in the books that I was reading, so I can kind of see how long it takes me to read each book. We'll see. I don't know how exactly I want to work with this spread, but I definitely know that I want to start properly tracking my reading again, because I think it is giving me motivation to pick up books more often and to read instead of scroll on my phone. So fingers crossed this actually works in my favour this month. But I think we're coming up to the end of me setting all this up, and I've just put a few lines there to put a possible TBR. We'll see if I actually get around to reading those books, but an October TBR will be coming up soon as well. So here we are on the finished October spreads. As you can see, I haven't done a quote for October. I couldn't find one I liked, and I don't really think it's completely necessary, so I just left it blank this month. And I wasn't that keen when I started creating these spreads of the colour scheme, I was like, I'm not really loving this. However, the further I got into creating the spreads, the more I kind of vibed with the overall theme and colour scheme, but I'm not 100% happy with the cover. But to be fair, this is the page I refer to at least. It's just kind of there as a divide between September and the new month. So out of all the spreads, if this could be the worst one, it's the best one to be the worst one, if that makes sense. And then we're on to the kind of brain dump page that I always do, and the monthly calendar. And then here's a little bit of a space to write like really important and key dates, so I don't forget them. So it's just a bit of a highlight. And then we come on to kind of my favorite spread, even though I didn't think it was going to be, because I made an error with the way the calendars were being kind of drawn out, and therefore I've had to do a black line every time like the calendar starts and ends. So I don't love it, but I actually do kind of vibe with how the overall spreads turned out. I wanted to track a lot of habits in October. I don't know why, I just kind of had a feeling that I wanted to track a lot, so I've given myself plenty of mini calendars to track all the habits that I would like to. And if you want to see what habits I am tracking, then you'll need to check out my October reset, which will be coming just after this video. And I've also decided to do a mood tracker this month as well, because a lot of stuff's happening in my life in October, so I thought it would be fun to see how my mood shifts throughout the month. And then we're coming on to the last double page spread, October goals. Once again, these will be set and the page will be filled out in my October reset video, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And then, oh my god, finally we have a reading spread back in my bullet journal. I haven't had a reading spread in my bullet journal all year, because at the beginning of the year I wanted to do a reading journal separate, and then I fell into a reading slump. I haven't touched a journal since, and since then I haven't incorporated it into my normal bullet journal either. But I thought this month I would just have a little one page, a mini kind of hopeful TBR section down here, and then I'll just tick the days every time I read and the amount of pages, maybe, possibly, that I've read that day. But I just want to keep a track on how many days I've actually read throughout the month, and I thought I'd make its own little page for it to try and motivate me to pick up books more often. So that is all my October spreads. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll go back to Rachel sitting down to sign off this video. So what did you think? Let me know in the comments down below what your bullet journal theme is for the month of October. I would love to know, are you going traditional Halloween like me, or are you giving it a little bit of a twist? Also, let me know what you thought of this video. Did you like the voiceover? Did you like how casual it was? Did you like the setup? Because I did film it in my dining room, so it has a little bit more echo. So just give me your feedback. Did you enjoy it? What did you think I can improve on, etc.? Because I do really enjoy making these plan with me videos now that I have an overhead kind of tripod where I can get an exact overhead shot of my planner. I do really enjoy doing these videos, so do let me know your feedback in the comments. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, I just hope you guys enjoyed the video. So I think that's all I have to say. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a massive thumbs up and subscribe down below to see future content from me. I do anything from plan with me's, bookish videos like TBRs, wrap-ups, reading vlogs, as well as lifestyle content like generic weekly vlogs, monthly resets, and everything in between. So I have a lot of content on here that you guys could enjoy, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any more future content. And without further ado, I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.